Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Now I'm going to show you how you can import an already existing letterhead design from, say, InDesign, Illustrator or Quark Express, or maybe other design programs such as Affinity Designer. I'm always talking about that on this channel. So you can export it and import it into Microsoft Word. Now the reason I'm doing this video is because I don't feel like there's a lot of information out there for designers on how to create in one program and import into another. A lot of the information out there is purely just setting up letterhead designs within Microsoft Word, and I know as a designer I don't want to do that, and I'm sure you don't either. You want to design it in the professional programs, and then you want an easy solution to import it into Microsoft Word, and that's what I've got for you today. I've got two different ways of importing your letterhead design into Microsoft Word. So we'll get started with the tutorial. I'm going to switch to the MacBook Pro today instead of my Mac because I've got Microsoft Word already loaded on there, but everything will be the same despite what version of Microsoft Word you've got. So I'm going to switch now to the Mac and we'll get started on the tutorial. Okay, so I'm here on my MacBook Pro, and the first thing you want to do is open up Microsoft Word. The first way I'm going to show you how to import your letterhead is the easiest way, and so to do that you've got basically you want to set up your page whatever size you're working to. Obviously in the UK it's A4, so it's 297 by 210 or 210 by 297. Apologies for that. You want to go down to Insert and click Watermark, and now you want to just click the Picture tab, and then you want to select a picture. Now I'm using a PDF version for this way, but you can use any other versions and I believe it still works exactly the same. So now I've got that selected, I'm just going to click Insert. You get a little preview here. Now obviously it's set to auto, which means I think it's about 70% reduction in scale. So we just want to change that to 100%. And you want to make sure you've not got washout clicked, because if you do, when your client or you come to print your letterhead, it's going to be a lot more faded. And obviously with letterhead you want it to be punchy, you want all the information to be crisp and clear. So what you want to do is just unclick that, and that will make sure that when it does print or you export it or what have you, it's going to be nice and crisp. So with all them settings done, you just need to click OK, and as you can see it's imported it full scale, edge to edge, and that's basically it done. Now obviously if you're giving it to a client, what I would suggest doing is sorting out the margins to begin with, so that if they do type, obviously it's in line with your design. So, and then obviously they can type away. The other way of doing it is by inserting a text box and drawing this out to the margins that you want. So then when you give this to a client, they can just open it, click in the text box, and again text away, nice and easy. They know where they're at, and you can maintain the design that you've got without them starting to go, oh well, I need extra space, or I'm just going to start dragging it out, and before you know it, like they've just ruined the letterhead design that you've made for them, that they've paid you to create for them. So I obviously always recommend you start off with a text box and then just give them a heads up not to start messing about with the sizes and stuff like that. Once you've done all that, you want to just make sure you're saving them as a .dot file, which is a template file. So that just means that it'll go in a different format that they can use ready for typing up and printing or saving and sending to their business people or their clients, if you will. And that's pretty much it. for that first version. Like I said, pretty easy. The next version's got a few more steps, but nothing too extreme. So you want to start off again with a blank Word document. You want to go to File, Page Setup. And obviously at the moment it's set to A4. And we want to manage custom size. I've created one previously just for the benefit of running through this tutorial. But if you're just starting out and you've not got anything in this box, all you need to do is click plus, because obviously you can't type anything until you do. Once you click the plus, everything becomes editable. So again, because my paper size is A4 in the UK of 210mm by 297mm, I'm just going to make that. The non-printable area you want to leave as user defined. That'll just make sure that no matter what, when you send this to a client, there's not going to be any sort of cross-platform or cross-printer issues or anything like that. The only thing you need to do is just make sure you've got all these set down to 0, like that. I'm just going to give mine a name, just so I know that's what it is. And obviously you can do these for all sorts of compliment slips and things like that. Once you've done all that, you just need to click OK, and then OK again. And obviously nothing's changed, but it just makes sure that when you do send it, there's not going to be any issues. The next thing you want to do is go down to View, Header and Footer, and that'll bring up these two little boxes, if you will. And that means that you can, these are where you would normally insert your header at the top, footer at the bottom, and then you just close it off and that'll be done. However, because we've previously designed our own, we want to import it into this section. And to do that, you go down to Insert, this time not to watermark, but you want to go to Picture, and then from File. And now I'm using a PNG version for this way of doing it, just because I feel like it's a better way. But you can use JPEGs and TIFFs. But obviously, if you're using a TIFF file, please bear in mind that the file itself retains all the information that you've put in it, whereas like JPEGs don't. So each time you open a JPEG and save it and things like that, it loses some of the information. So the information's lost, whereas a TIFF file always retains that information. So with a TIFF file, the file will be a lot bigger. So I'm using a PNG just because it's, like say, 106 kilobyte, high resolution at 300 pixels per inch, so that when it does print, it's going to be nice and crisp. Other than that, any file will work. And now I just want to insert it. Now, again, it's automatically reduced the size of the letterhead to about 70%, I think. Now, we need to scale that back up to 100%. And to do that, we need to go to Format Picture. The way I did this was I just double clicked in the header section where the image is, and it brings it up. But if your version doesn't do that, you can just go to Format, and you should have like a box saying Picture or something like that, and that'll bring up the exact same box. So you can see here there's a tab for size, yeah, and it's 70%. So we need to increase that to 100%, and you don't need to touch anything else. And then you need to go to Layout. Make sure you've got this clicked to Behind Text, and then click the Advance button. And absolute positioning needs to be to page. And then you just need to click OK. OK. Now, if it doesn't realign it, you can just realign it yourself. And then you want to go to View, Header or Footer, and it'll bring it out. Obviously now it's faded, but when it does print, or you save it as a PDF or anything like that, it'll still print with the full vibrancy of the colours and the design. So don't worry about that. And again, like I said previously, you can then start moving the margins and things like that, just so that when your client does type, it's all within your design. Or again, insert text box and do exactly the same. The same goes with this version as the previous version, is that you want to file and save it as a .docs file, .dot file, sorry, as a template version. Other than that, that's it basically. Like I said, 2 easy ways just to make sure that your letterhead design is imported into Microsoft Word so that you can send it to your client. I mean, if you weren't to do anything, or if you're using it for yourself, you can also go to Tools and Protect Document and do things like that just to make sure that nobody's going to amend anything. So if you've sent a quote to somebody, you can lock the document so that they can't change the quote and anything like that. But for clients in general, if you're designing for them, you can set it up like this, save it as a .dot file and send it to them, and they should be able to work with it nicely without having to mess around with any of the sort of design, if you will. So there you go. Perfect. So there you go. That's how easy it can be to import an existing letterhead design into Microsoft Word. 2 different ways of doing it, depending on what you want to do, whatever's easiest for you, but they both work and they're both great to give to your clients, and then they can use it from there. So I hope you've liked the video and you found it useful. If you have, comment below, let me know your feedback and give me a thumbs up. If you haven't liked the video, still comment below, but ideally don't give me a thumbs down, but if you do want to, go on, I'll let you. But I'm going to leave it there for now. Tune in for the next one, and I'll see you.